Pretty much what happened was another dealer slash manufacturer was trying to build the room and completely destroyed it. And then I get called from Papi Steak. I get a call from the designer saying, hey, can you come out here and take a look at it? So they had it set up with a wine mate, which is a self-contained unit, which is a disaster in any possible way. The cabinetry was all done a little wrong and kind of wonky. We were tasked to come in and kind of redo the entire project. So when you're dealing with a commercial design, you have to put a split system unit in there. You can't just go with little self-contained units. It just doesn't make any logical sense. But, sometimes people think it's a budget thing, or they're under a pressure to give a proposal under a certain number. And it's not about that. It's about functionality. And so when you give somebody that type of a self-contained unit for a commercial space, it's never going to work. So you got to be able to explain that to them, that you have to go with a split system unit no matter the cost. We ended up doing a split system unit in the space to be able to give it that power that they need to be able to cool the entire environment. US Cellar systems, different types of supply and returns in each different compartment. So it was a 18,000 BTU system, and then be able to go to different systems inside of that space. So one condensing unit, one coil, but splitting up like an air conditioner in your house. Different rooms or different cabinets would have a supply and return to be able to get the unit in there. It's one temperature throughout, but what we wanted to do was have it to where all the champagnes, they do a lot of champagnes there, and that should be a different 45 degrees, which I've done in other commercial spaces. Have the champagnes at 45 degrees and the Sauvignon Blancs, and then the rest of the wine at 55 degrees, which is the optimal temperature for the space. So it's wood dual-pane glass. We just had to make all wood-pane dual-pane glass with 60-inch pulls. So that's kind of more of a special thing. They didn't, they're really not going to touch too much of it. A lot of that was dummy bottles. So they kind of just wanted it to be for looks, and had a lot of the wine here, and then they had some champagnes, and they had a cooler in the back. Doors were 7 feet tall, 36-inch doors up on top, obviously sealed Q-lons so they can actually hold the air from escaping into the space. And then dual pane for the same reason. You want to make sure you have dual pane frames, so when it's open 100 times in a night, that air may be leaving, but at least like a refrigerator, it'll come back and stay cool. So we use VintageView racking systems, triple deep, and in a gold color. I love the aesthetic. I love the look. I love the feel of it, but it looks fantastic. Channel lighting around the doors. Lighting is always really important. So being able to channel light the whole project is fantastic. If I was able to do it from the start, there would be very little to no challenges. With it being where it was fine. It just, the cooling units, instead of doing a self-contained, which blows up on top, you could have easily put the split systems up on top from the very beginning. So just changing refrigeration is a challenge from start to finish. So things I don't like, the locking systems, I don't like that. I don't like the way they are. They shouldn't be like locking that way. They should be locked through an iPhone instead of some big bulky, locking system. But I couldn't change that after the fact. Once they were made, I just was there to clean up. And then up top, those cheap locker looking one. So it just doesn't really add up to the aesthetic you're trying to accomplish. With now, there's all these automatic ways you could do doors. You could have it on your phone. You don't need to have a big bulky amount of keys to carry around to open up these doors. We've got them on a 6-month schedule to go back and fix everything that they need to. With it being open all the time and constantly running because it's always open, you got to make sure that you monitor and manage and clean them, at least 6 months, every 6 months. I've done some for the Ritz-Carlton that have gone on for 20 years. It's just depending, but they get a service every 3 months. So they're always making sure those units are at tip-top shape. These units can stay for 10 years if they take care of it and they get the maintenance that they need for it.